This is an absolute must-have. What's going on YouTube? My name is Darren. Of course, I am the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. Talk about fashion on this channel. I jump into talking about some fragrance-related content, obviously. And we also jump into a little bit of lifestyle content as well. So, if any of those things are of interest to you, I hope you guys will consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you do so, don't forget to hit the bell icon as well to ensure you get notified anytime I upload new content on the platform of YouTube. All right, guys, so the Polo coffee mug has made a return today. I gave my Bowtie Fragrance Guy mug a little rest on today, so I want to go ahead and I'm having a cup of coffee out of my Polo mug. And I put cinnamon in my coffee today, as I sometimes do, because today it is extremely appropriate. Because the fragrance that I want to talk to you guys about is a fragrance from my house. I think some people have kind of talked about this fragrance house, although I don't think that enough people talk about this fragrance house because they have some very amazing fragrances across the range. I am currently right now in the process of kind of going through some of those fragrances. I do have 4 full bottles from this fragrance brand. I have 2 bottles actually on the way. So I'm going to be talking about this fragrance brand a little bit more moving forward. But for right now, man, when I get something in my collection that just kind of stops me in my tracks and is this good, I have to talk about it. I have to do a dedicated video to it. I know that people like to watch the list videos, but I just got to talk about this fragrance today. And the fragrance that I am referring to, again, is from the house of Boadicea the Victorious, and this fragrance is called Amethyst. That is the box. We're about to get into what's inside this box in just a moment. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on this amazing fragrance from the house of Boadicea Victorious, you know the routine, man. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into this video. I showed you guys the box, but I will show you again. Of course, we start with the presentation on this thing. And it's that beautiful, of course, purple color, of course, reminiscent of the name of the fragrance. And this particular box opens up this way. All right, so you open the box, your fragrance will rest in there. I make sure I hold this because I do not want to drop this. All right, so that's the box, opens that way. Open it, take the fragrance out. And man, this is one of the most gorgeous bottles now in my collection. Take a look at that. 14 karat gold plated bottle. All right, that's the front side. And then on the back, you actually have the name of the brand as well as the fragrance on this side. Beautiful bottle. Of course, that same color that you see on the box. Here's what the cap looks like. Same pattern that you see on the bottle itself. And man, again, this is just an amazing fragrance. This is a 3.4 ounce. They do make, in some of their fragrances, a 1.7 ounce. I don't see the 1.7 ounce available in all of the fragrances, but they do have them for some of them. And the price point on these fragrances, they have certain kind of lines. I think your entry level line in this collection, I think it's called a crystal collection or something like that, but they start at about the $295 price point. And then you have that next tier, they kind of range between from the $300 to up to about the $600 price point. And then you have some fragrances that go 900 plus, 800, 900 plus. So, you know, again, quite a range there, but this particular bottle, 3.4 ounce, and this one actually retails for $595. Now, I did purchase my bottle from Neiman Marcus. They're one of the few retailers that actually sell these fragrances besides, of course, going to the official Boadicea Victoria's website, or Selfridges, which I think is in London. Is another place where you can pick up fragrances from this brand. So they're not as accessible as some other brands, and that may contribute to why not as many people talk about them. And of course, I understand the price point as well, could absolutely be a contributing factor. But I will tell you that if you're into niche fragrances and you're into fragrances that are well done from a quality perspective and that are very interesting and creative, this is a brand that you should at least start to try to sample. Now on the website you can get samples in a lot of their stuff. I think it's maybe 2 ml is where it starts. But man, I definitely think it's worth checking out some of their fragrances because they have, from what I've been able to see so far, some very good offerings from this brand. Now let's get into talking about what this fragrance smells like. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it on my skin. Man, this stuff, I will tell you right now, spoiler alert, this stuff is fantastic. Okay, it's no secret, guys. The last fragrance that I bought you that I did a full review on was Hypnotizing Fire from the Harmonist. One of the primary notes that got my attention, that drew me into that fragrance, was pomelo, which is an allspice that primarily highlighted the spice of cinnamon to my nose. And cinnamon is one of my favorite notes. I would say cinnamon, tonka bean, rose, amber, sandalwood are some of my favorite notes. And this fragrance is really, to my nose, based on 2 primary notes, and that's going to be cinnamon and this beautiful amber accord. So when the fragrance opens up, cinnamon is the primary note that you get. Now there is black pepper in this as well, but that's a very fleeting note in this particular fragrance. It is the most fleeting note in the entire composition. You get that additional spice from the black pepper for about the first 5 to 10 minutes. You can kind of detect it, then it starts to really fade away. But the cinnamon is something that you're going to get, honestly, from start to finish. Now, as you get into the heart of this fragrance, of course, there is an amber accord. Now, you guys know that amber is not an actual note. Amber is an accord that primarily consists of notes like vanilla, labdanum, and primarily benzoin. And in this particular scent, I get a lot of labdanum in this fragrance. Now, it actually lists the note of vanilla, so obviously, you know, in addition to the labdanum, I do pick up some vanilla in this as well, but it is primarily those 2 notes that create the amber accord in this fragrance, which is, again, is labdanum and vanilla. And after about the first 5 minutes, the amber kicks in. I mean, it doesn't take long. As the black pepper starts to kind of fade away in this scent, you start to really pick up that amber, and that amber accord, again, which consists of labdanum and vanilla, pretty much dominate this fragrance with the cinnamon from start to finish. Now, and when you're about an hour and a half, 2 hours into the wearing, you are going to start to pick up a little bit of a warmth that is coming from the note of leather that's in this as well. But like I said, at the end of the day, guys, this is really dominated by 3 notes, which again is going to be the amber accord, which is the vanilla and the labdanum and cinnamon. And that's really what you get for the most part during the duration of your wearing of this fragrance. Now, when it comes to the performance on this one, it's going to perform for what I would consider to be a long time. I get 8.5 hours, maybe 9 hours out of this scent. It's going to project really good for the first 2 hours. Now, after the first 2 hours, it starts to sit close to the skin. It's about an arm and a half an arm's length of projection that you get. So it's not a huge projection monster, but it is going to stick around for a long time. And I will tell you this right now, it's one of those fragrances that I truly just enjoy the scent bubble that it creates for me. I enjoy it so much because, again, it has some of my absolute favorite notes in it, which again is going to be amber and cinnamon. I love this stuff. It is definitely a 10 out of 10 fragrance to me. There's a lot of other fragrances you will find once you start to look into this brand that are highly touted. The most popular is probably going to be Blue Sapphire, which that's a fragrance that I actually have on the way. I have had a pretty nice sample of that I got from Beverly Hills Perfumery, and I love it. I mean, it's everything that people say that it is, but to me, right now, this is my favorite. And this one doesn't really get talked about a whole lot. And I will tell you right now, if you love cinnamon and you love amber, this is an absolute must-have. Again, if we want to talk about the price, this retails for $595. I did have a 15% off coupon that I used when I got this, so I did use that to purchase this fragrance. But when I looked at the note breakdown, I knew or I had a good feeling that this was a fragrance that I was going to love, and it did not disappoint me at all. When you actually go to the website, the Boadicea Victoria's website, they actually have this kind of test that you can do where you answer a few questions, whether you want a fragrance for the day, for the evening, you want something modern, whatever the case may be, and you kind of answer these questions. And I had already purchased this. When I went to the website and I did the test, the first fragrance that popped up that the website recommended to me was this. It was this one. And that's the kind of thing that when the more you get into your fragrance journey, you start to really learn more about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, and that kind of stuff. And I thought it was just very interesting that by me going through and answering the questions, I had already purchased this, but this was the exact fragrance that they recommended for me based on my preferences. So that comes to show you that I know what I like at the end of the day. So guys, check it out. Like I said, I think you can get pretty much a 2 ml sample of any fragrance on their website. If you're interested in trying to expand, especially if you're kind of getting into the niche stuff and you want to get some stuff that's really well done and creative, I think this is a brand and this is a house that you guys should probably take a look into. Like I said, I will start with some samples, the 2 ml samples, kind of test it out and see which fragrances that you may like. And then if it's something that you feel like is worth it to you, definitely, go ahead and take that plunge and pick it up. But for me, I absolutely love this fragrance right now. I would say this is my favorite of all the fragrances I have from the brand. And like I said, if you're a cinnamon and amber lover like myself, this is an absolute must-have. But all right, guys, that's it. That's my time, man. I hope you enjoyed the video today as I gave you a review of Amethyst from the house of Boadicea the Victorious. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention to these videos. You guys don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. And don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to make sure you like the video, subscribe, and share it out, guys, to some other folks that you think could use the information or may find some value there. Because I'm your guy, Darian. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, of course. I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.